Hey everyone, Simpson2142 here, reporting from the internal pits of Elo Hell in Overwatch. And today we're going to be talking about who are the best two healers to take into a competitive match. Now, this is a question that comes up often, and for good reason. Most people are in agreement that a good team comp will always need two healers. The number of tanks and DPS heroes may vary, but it's generally always been two healers since the beginning. Now that's not to say that a team has to religiously follow this comp, as I even did a video covering how a solo healer can sometimes work, but in general only having one healer does not provide enough heals, and having more than two doesn't provide the team with enough damage. So two is kind of the sweet spot. It's also worth noting that with each patch and hero changes also comes the changes to the optimum healer combination. In the past, Mercy was considered a must pick, then her res got nerfed. Zenyatta was then considered a must pick because of his buffs and 50% Discord Orb damage, then that got nerfed, and currently we're in a period where Ana is now considered a must pick due to the ridiculous amount of healing she can pump out. And Lucio has just always been considered a strong pick throughout, seeing very little change during the course of Overwatch. But I'm going to base my judgment on the current patch, and if there is any drastic update in the future, I will create an updated video and link it over this one. So let's begin. The first thing I do is separate our four healers into two categories: primary healers and secondary healers. Primary healers being a healer who can pump out large amount of heals and therefore making it their priority. This is where I put Ana and Mercy. Zenyatta and Lucio offer far less healing, but make up for it in other aspects. And I know what you're thinking.
But Simpson, Lucio can heal the whole team at the same time. Surely that lets him offer far more heals than Mercy or Ana.
And yeah, you technically are correct, but I base my categories to how much healing a healer can offer a single target, and I'll get into more details on that later. Having our four heroes split into two categories simplifies how to allocate them. Generally, I believe it's best for a team to consist of one primary healer and one secondary healer. And here's my reasons. Primary healers get their ultimate charges the fastest through healing teammates, so the more healing they can achieve, the quicker their ultimates build. Having two primary healers on your team means they will effectively be competing for heals. Having both an Ana and a Mercy simultaneously trying to heal up a single target means they're only going to get half the ultimate gain. They're effectively a hindrance to each other. Secondary healers get their ultimates charged faster through other means. Zenyatta can only heal a single target for 30 heals per second, as opposed to Mercy's 60 heals per second and Ana's 75, but what he lacks in heals he makes up for in damage. His primary orbs can offer 46 damage per shot, and yes, he can also headshot with them, coupled with his Discord Orb offering a 30% damage increase to the target it's landed on. This means Zenyatta can actually offer a substantial amount of DPS, providing you can actually hit your target. Lucio can also offer out moderate amounts of damage, each individual projectile offering 16 damage per hit, along with his alternate soundwave fire, which deals out 25 damage, but can also knock enemies down pits and off of map edges. Lucio does also have his speed boost to benefit the team, but obviously whilst using his speed boost he cannot provide heals at the same time. The problem with having two secondary healers on your team means that there generally isn't enough heals going out. For tanks. Keyword here, tanks. Coming back to what I said earlier about Lucio not offering enough heals, whereas he is healing everyone at a consistent rate, providing large amounts of healing overall, it is only offering 12.5 heals per second, and even with his Amp It Up ability, this only boosts to 36 heals per second. That is just simply not enough to keep a tank alive when they're in the heat of battle. Despite their large health pools, they also have a very large hitbox, meaning they will take a lot of damage very quickly. and even the self-healing tank like Roadhog won't last very long, as he needs to be in a safe spot when drinking his recovery potion, otherwise he too will just melt before your eyes. Okay, so we've determined you want one primary and one secondary healer. Now we need to decide which one of each to take. Now this is obviously very generalized and down to my opinion, so don't blindly follow what I say, but hear me out. I think the best pairing of healers is either a Mercy with a Zenyatta or an Ana with a Lucio, and here is why. Out of all the healers, Mercy is the one who will focus the most on the healing aspect, meaning that she offers a lot of heals but very little in anything else. Zenyatta goes as a great balance to this as they compensate each other. Zenyatta, as we stated earlier, has the weakest healing ability compared to the other three healers, so pairing him with a Mercy who offers exceptionally high heals makes up for this, and vice versa. Where Mercy offers the least DPS for a team comp, Zenyatta will offer the most. Now, I know Mercy does have a 30% damage boost ability, but that also does mean she can't be offering out any heals, and ideally a Mercy will spend 90% of her time healing a target versus 10% of her time damage boosting. Zenyatta's Discord Orb will offer out a 30% damage intake increase to an enemy target, essentially giving your whole team a 30% damage increase, and unlike Mercy, Zenyatta faces no hindrance from doing this. As for Ana and Lucio, they don't really compensate each other as much as Zenyatta and Mercy do, but they certainly help maximize each other's potential. Now, Ana is currently considered the best healer out of the four, but she does have one weakness, and that, quite ironically, is the inability to regenerate her own health. Lucio can start self-healing instantly, Mercy self-heals after 1 second of no damage intake, and Zenyatta regenerates his shields after 3 seconds of no damage intake. The only way Ana can regenerate her own health is through her Biotic Nade, which has a 10-second cooldown. So having a Lucio around who can provide a constant passive heal tremendously boosts her survivability. But Lucio's passive heal can serve an even greater benefit to Ana. Ana's Biotic Grenade will have a 4-meter explosive radius. Any teammate caught within that radius will not only receive an instant 100 health, but will also receive a double heal rate from other healing sources for 5 seconds. Now, let's just think about that with some mathematics. So let's say Ana has thrown her Biotic Nade, and all 5 teammates have been caught within its radius. Including her, that's 600 heals given out instantly. Now, Lucio using his passive heal at 12.5 heals per second, that's doubled to 25 heals per second. Effectively the equivalent of Zenyatta orbing the whole team at the same time. So 25 times by 6 equals 150 heals per second. Times by the 5 seconds the Biotic Nade's effect lasts for is 1,250 heals for the team. But when Lucio amps up his heals, that is now 36 heals per second, which of course is doubled to 72 heals per second, which is more than a Mercy having 6 healing beams going on at once. So 72 times by 6 is 432 heals per second. Times 432 by the 3 seconds, as Lucio's amp up only lasts for 3 seconds, and that's 1,296 heals given to the team. So if we add up the initial 600 heals given by Ana's Nade, the 1,296 heals given in the first 3 seconds from Lucio's amp it up, and the remaining 2 seconds of Lucio's standard passive heals, which would be 300 heals, that brings a total of healing potential of 2,196 heals in the space of 5 seconds. That is a lot of healing potential, especially when we compare it to Zenyatta's ultimate, the Transcendence, which offers 300 heals per second, Lucio and Ana's combined potential can offer 439 heals per second, and unlike Zenyatta, that would have to wait for his ult to recharge, Ana and Lucio could in theory do this every 10 seconds. Now, obviously this would rarely be achieved in the game as you're not likely to be bunched so close together, and there is also the potential of an enemy Ana throwing in her nade to deny your healing. But it's still pretty crazy to think about. Anyway guys, that is the basic guide on how to select your two healers. Now obviously this is very subject to change based on an individual skill set. What heroes you have selected and what heroes the enemy have selected will obviously determine which healers you select. But I think that would need to be covered in another whole separate video of itself, as there is just way too much to talk about. This guide was just to show which two healers would work best with each other in a general situation. If you have any additional thoughts or believe there is a better combination, do let me know in the comment section. But until then guys, see you all in the next one and take care.